Las Vegas is known for its glitz and its glamour and its high-rise living. And I have created quite a few videos about high-rise living here in Las Vegas. And I have a lot of you guys asking me, Courtney, you make all these videos about high-rise living, you love high-rise living, but why is it you choose to live in Henderson, Nevada? Well, I'm gonna share why I picked Henderson over high-rise living in this video. Personal backstory. So I've lived in Los Angeles in a high-rise, I lived in Bangkok, Thailand in a high-rise, and in Cabo, I lived in kind of a mid-rise situation and then a house later on. So here in Las Vegas, we decided to do the house because we wanted a yard. We hadn't had a yard in a long time. But then we decided, let's try a high-rise. So I moved to One Queensbridge Place. Let me just tell you, I love high-rise living. I love the ease, I love the access, I love the amenities, the 5-star amenities, especially in a building like One Queensbridge Place. But when it came down to the down, I decided, my husband as well, that we wanted to have a house. So 3 key reasons why we decided living in a house was for us. 1, we have 2 Shih Tzus, Chewbacca and Lilith. My pride and joy, literally our kids, we don't have children. And when it came to high-rise living, we had these 2 dogs, and when you need to have them use the restroom, when you want them to exercise, you have to go up and down an elevator and then walk them to a pet relief area and then walk them back. Or you could walk them around the neighborhood. But in this case, it just got old. It took a lot of time, took a lot of effort, and when they were puppies, it was just a lot of work. See, prior to having Chewbacca and Lilith, we had senior Shih Tzus, meaning they were over 10 years old. They didn't go to the bathroom as much, so it was really easy to take care of them in a high-rise building. But with young puppies, it's almost impossible. Number 2, I'm a real estate agent. I am in and out of my car all day long. Now, in the building I lived in, One Queensbridge Place, you do have your accessibility with your own garage. Yes, your very own garage. But going down an elevator to get in the car, to go off to my appointment, to come back home, to get in the elevator, it was just a lot. I need access, I need ease. And to be honest with you, sometimes I don't even pull into my garage in my house. Now, I do have my office in downtown Summerlin, so I have that as kind of a stop point. I have my home in Henderson, so I'm just all over the place. So for me, the kind of time and maximizing my time and having to wait for the valet or go down an elevator just did not make sense for me and my lifestyle. Convenience of amenities, daily amenities like the grocery store, the post office, going to Target. Now, while living in One Queensbridge Place, all of that is literally a stone's throw away. You have Boca Park, you have Tivoli Village, you have a Whole Foods right there. But on the Strip, you don't have all that, which is why we picked One Queensbridge Place when we were looking for a high-rise. But having a home, you do have that suburban lifestyle that you don't have living on the Strip. I mean, if you really think about it, the Strip is just 20 minutes away from my house. I get all the world-class amenities that one can imagine. Top-class restaurants, shows, concerts, Raiders games, hockey games, all of it. And I get Whole Foods and Target and all of the daily necessities that I need to be happy and feel like I have what I need. Living space. So when you live in a high-rise unit, you're gonna have a smaller space. Now there are larger scale high-rise units. We have One Queensbridge Place, Turnberry, even like the Martin, some of these units can be a lot larger than one would think. Now some of the other buildings, you have smaller spaces like Veer, Waldorf Astoria, really small, tight spaces. For me, I wanted to have space. I wanted to have the parties that we love to throw. Every year on 4th of July, my husband and I throw these huge, massive parties, like 100-people parties. And I really wanted that space to be my own. I didn't want to rent a space. I didn't want to have to use like a shared space in a high-rise building. I wanted to have my own space that I could host and share my space with. Now, if you're someone who loves the on-the-go, out and about lifestyle, you don't want to be worried about maintenance, you don't want to be worried about hosting these large grand scale parties, then definitely consider a high rise. But for me personally, I wanted my very own space, I wanted a huge closet, I wanted to host parties, and I wanted to have a large kitchen to cook in. Seeing people. Now, if you're someone who's new to the city, it is really nice to be in a social environment like a high-rise building where you're constantly running into people, whether it's staff or people who live in the building or even their guests. But for me, that got old. I work and I love to be around people. I love to socialize, but when I come home, I always say this, I like to stare at a wall sometimes. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do anything. I just want to decompress, breathe, let go of my day and not deal with anything. Well, in a high-rise building, you're sharing your gym space, you're sharing the elevator, you're sharing a lot of spaces. You're constantly around people. And sometimes I just wanted my privacy. So for me personally, when it came time to really pick and decide, having a house was something that made the most sense for me because I wanted to get out of that environment where I'm running into people. Now, some people love that, and I do love it on occasion. Like, that is one thing I truly loved about living a high-rise. When we lived in Bangkok, it was so awesome to see the front desk girl, and it was kind of a security thing. I'm wandering around a third world country. It was kind of nice to know that someone was there waiting for me while my husband was traveling. It was kind of nice to know that they had my best sense, right? Like, they knew when I would come home or when I would leave. And I loved having a gym space I didn't have to take care of with all the best equipment. So if you look at it that way, it can be really nice. But for me in my life right now, it just didn't make sense. So moving to a house in Henderson was exactly what we needed to do. If we haven't met yet, my name is Courtney Bentley, and I'm a luxury real estate agent here in Las Vegas. I offer concierge service to take the headache out of moving to my favorite city. Now let's move on. Being able to support local businesses. So as a local in Henderson, I frequent this shopping center right here. Between getting my dog food for Chewbacca and Lilith, picking up cuts of meat and marinated chicken because I'm lazy at the butcher block, and having my mail delivered to PostNet. I actually love having a mailbox. It makes my life so easy. I don't have to worry about signing for packages. And it's all literally down the hill from my house. So I actually frequent this area a lot. I grab coffee all the time at the little French cafe here. The other thing we love to do is we love to go to the Lee's Family Forum and watch the Henderson Silver Knights play. It's so much fun. So I get a lot of action in this suburban lifestyle, but I also have the strip if I really want to have a fancy night out. So this place right here has the best coffee. I come here all the time for their cappuccinos. Really good. And they have sugar-free vanilla, which my favorite. So I love this spot. We get all of our meat here. It's so good. They'll cut it however you want. They have the finest quality steak. And to be honest with you, we love to cook at home because the cuts are so good here. Oftentimes when we go out for steak dinners, it's not as good. And it's because of this place. My next favorite spot, so it's like boom, boom, boom when I come to the shopping center, is I love dog food to my door. They have fresh, organic food for your dog. They have different companies and brands. It took me a while to figure out which one my dogs liked, but I love just coming down the hill, popping in here, butcher block, picking up my mail with Tony next door. This is kind of like my little hangout area, and it's kind of one of the reasons we wanted to be in a residential area. Cost of living. Cost of living is much different in a high-rise compared to a single-family residential home, and there's a lot of variables there. If you have a huge yard with a massive pool, you're gonna have all that maintenance. And oftentimes people say to me, Courtney, the HOA, the Homeowners Association for some of these high-rises is out of control. And I have to explain to them what it includes, because when you start adding up your bills, depending on what type of living situation you have, it may actually be a lot less. Between the gym, the concierge, the security, the landscape bill, the insurance of the building, just like you start adding all these things up, and it's really not that bad. But for some people, it is a lot. It just depends where you're coming from. Now, the cost of the home versus the cost of the unit is going to be much different. It depends where you are in the building. Are you on a high floor with a massive view? Now, your cost per square foot could be anywhere from $500 to $1,100, $1,200 a square foot, depending on what building you're in, what view you have, what floor you're on. There's so many variables. While you can get a pretty decent custom home here in Henderson, anywhere from $500 to $800 a square foot. Again, variable, right? We have some brand new homes going in McDonald Highlands for $1,100, $1,200, $1,400 a square foot, but you're getting a home, and a massive one. So when it comes time to really dive deep and figure out where you want to be, do you want to be in a high-rise building on the strip and live that lifestyle? Do you want to be in a single-family residential home? It all depends on that. So that's why I wanted to get into the cost of living. My cost of living is relatively less living in a home, and it's something my husband and I really consider. We wanted to be in a custom home with a nice yard, with a nice view, and in 2018, it was a lot less than living in a high-rise. Now, things have changed since post-pandemic, but again, I still do feel like single-family residential living is going to cost a lot less than living in a high-rise. But it really depends on what you're looking for. For us, again, it was all about that single-family residential home in Henderson. I hope you enjoyed watching my lifestyle a little bit, checking out some of my daily activities, learning about why I picked living in Henderson versus living in a high-rise. And I'm curious, what do you think? Are you a high-rise person, or are you interested in single-family residential? Does the cost associated bother you at all? Let me know in the comments below. For more videos like this, check out the videos above. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.